This is a production of KMmedia.pro. Welcome back to Positive Talk Radio. Our goal is simple: to explore evolving ideas one conversation at a time. So come on over into our world. I know you'll like it, because on today's show, today we feature a couple of lovely ladies. My awesome friend Dana Parker is here, and we've got a brand new friend that we're going to introduce to you today. And she really is remarkable at what she's doing. And before we go there, Nathan, I thought it was supposed to be sunny and nice. What happened?
Man, the weather people just decided to walk into the back room and flip a switch, and suddenly we go from nonstop sun to nonstop rain in the blink of an eye.
And it's supposed to be windy. Is it windy?
Windy, up to 40-mile-per-hour gusts. So get your portable chargers ready and get some, heaters or extra blankets ready. You might lose power if you're in an area prone to that.
So if you're listening to this radio show and suddenly it goes, that's because we lost power.
That was only a test.
That was only a test. Absolutely. Dana, how are you? It's great to see you again.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. It's a nice cold day here too. There's snow all over.
Oh, really? Oh, no. Now you're in Utah.
Yep. Yeah, the first snow is always a little bit because people forget about how to drive in snow in Utah for some reason. Like every first snow, you have to be really careful because people get crazy.
They are crazy like that all the time here. Whenever it snows, whenever the weather gets bad, you're better off just staying home. And Kim, where are you originating from today?
I am coming to you from Pennsylvania. And it sounds like we have nicer weather than all of you folks, because we've got blue sky, sunshine, and 70 degrees in November in Pennsylvania, which is unheard of.
That's crazy.
Gonna have an outdoor barbecue for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly.
So do people still drive around in horse and buggy in Pennsylvania?
We're Amish country, yes.
See, Dana, you didn't think that I could figure that out all by myself, did you?
Well, the first 5 seconds I was like, Kevin, and then then I was like, oh, Amish people, yeah. I connected it, and then she said it. I was like, I see where you're going, Kevin.
So do you have a lot of Amish in your area, or is that it's a specific area that they occupy?
They're everywhere. I'm on the West Coast, like up in the northwest corner, and we have quite a few communities surrounding us. Smaller, like small towns, very rural. I'm in a small rural town too, surrounded by farm fields and woods. But over on the other side of PA, Lancaster and all of that, that's where the big congregation, I don't know what they're called, communities, sects, SECTS.
Thank you for clarifying.
I know, I wanted to spell that out.
I'm not going to go there. I had horrible thoughts right there, but I'm not going to go there.
Dork. That's all right. I don't know what they're called. Communities. There's lots of them. Yes, we're surrounded by them.
So Dana, first of all, I have to mention that I talked to Kim yesterday, and we had such a good time. And she's a podcaster. She's a television personality. She also does a nonprofit show for veterans, and she's a writer. And so I wanted to have her on because her podcast, which is called Let Fear Bounce. And
I saw that. I love that title.
Thank you.
And Positive Talk Radio, we're very aligned in what we are trying to accomplish, which is to try to make the world a little bit better place. And she also is very interested in, I mentioned to her about Matthew Stapley,
Yeah.
We had him on, and he's the psychic medium, and her ears perked up, and she was like, "Oh, really? You have one of those?" Well, Dana it was really fun because several weeks ago, I guess a month or so ago now, Matthew was on, and Dana and him worked very well together to develop a psychic phenomenon that I can't do, but is really cool. And so Dana, your gifts are blossoming, aren't they?
Yes. And they've always been there, I think, because of my background in life coaching and hypnosis and like retraining the brain and NLP. It's like that has been my main focus. But I do, and I have noticed the last several years when clients come to me, I just sense things. Like I can just sense things about people. And I don't claim that it's always right. It's just there's this sensing that happens, and I ask questions and get curious, and a lot of times it's helpful information. So it's been really cool to see that expand and grow, especially in the presence of Matthew, you know, when he's always like, Dana like pulls me in, and it's cool to be able to strengthen that muscle, you know?
Oh, it really is. And, you know, Kim and I were talking yesterday about our style of doing the radio shows. Like I know that I got up at 7 a.m. and was writing it out and no, that's not true. I do this on the cuff, and it works out for me, and she does the same thing. And it comes from a different place. It comes from a higher source, and we just are able to put things together and ask questions. Would that be a fair assessment, Kim?
Yeah, I think, and we had mentioned being extremely empathetic.
Yeah,
where you can feel that vibe coming off someone, and you can tell if they're not lying, they're just not sharing the full story. And so all these questions pop in your head, like, wait, it's like you can hear beyond the noise.
Yeah,
if beyond that makes sense.
Words. Yeah.
Well, and it's something that we all have.
Yeah.
But some of us admit that we have it and then work to strengthen it, like what Dana's doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely agree.
And by the way, Nathan, I got a challenge for you, sir.
Oh, what's that?
Well, we have a new store on positivetalkradio.net. And so we've got garments on there and swag. I don't where do the word swag come from, guys? I have no idea.
Swagger, short for swagger.
Swag stands for stuff we all get.
Ah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I'm the one from that generation, and I don't know that.
That's pretty cool.
You know, stuff we all get.
So
I had no idea that was an acronym.
Yeah.
Yep. So we have a shirt, a T-shirt that we have developed, and Nathan, your job during the course of this show, and we're not going to tell anybody, but you're going to break in at one point, and you're going to give the phone numbers and say the first person who gives us a call is going to win a T-shirt, and then we will send it to them. And on the front of the T-shirt, the saying is, "Be kind to one another because each other's all we've got." And so that if somebody wants to win that, they need to watch or listen to the entire show. And then when you make that decision and just have it be coming out of your heart, and when you feel the time is right, and then you break in and say, call now and you can win this.
All right. That sounds good. Okay. Give us a call eventually.
Yes.
I'm not doing it yet. But it's
don't
coming.
do it now because we're just going to talk to you. By the way, if you'd like to talk to these fine ladies that are both talented in their own right, in their own way, you can do that. And if you want a little bit of coaching from Dana, and we can work together with that, and with Kim and her gifts, and I'll even chime in a little bit. But you can give us a call. Nathan, how do they get that done?
Oh, well, it looks like we're doing that now, huh?
Well, we're not doing the shirt now. The shirt
not
now.
The
you're
shirt.
Not the shirt. No, sir. You're gonna.
This is just for a question.
This is just for a question.
All right. 425-373-5527 or toll free at 1-888-298-5569.
So you can join our party for nothing and just have a good time, and we can answer some questions for you and stuff like that. And yesterday, Dana, first of all, Kim, I have to tell you that I can pretty much guarantee you that during the course of the show today, Dana's going to get emotional.
It's true. I feel with my whole heart. I live with my whole heart.
Well, who's the one who was crying last night?
I know. I felt like Barbara Walters.
Oh, wait. So tell me a little bit more. I feel like I missed out on that call and that connection. So I'm just coming in. Kim, tell me a little bit more about what you do and why. I would love to hear.
Well, what got me emotional and what always gets me emotional is I'm a veteran, and Kevin had asked me about the radio show that I do here called Voices for Vets in my local area. So I was sharing about that. And then he said, well, why do you do what you do? Mm. And that's what hit me, because it's with your whole heart, my whole heart, and all of the veterans, my family. I consider them my family. And we were talking about that and why I feel so strongly about it. And I'm a veteran who lives with PTSD. So I know how hard that is, how hard a day can be. And sometimes, you get through the day minute by minute. Mm-hmm. Some days are awesome. But then some days, you got your demons coming in. They're slithering in. And when you're talking to another veteran and they're struggling, and what I do in my spare time, my volunteer time, is I support those that have PTSD. I support those that are homeless or soon to be homeless. Yeah. And when I'm talking to them, that's where that empathy thing we were talking about earlier came in and still comes in, because I can feel more than what they're saying. Mm-hmm. And so I can innately figure out, okay, well, I'm going to get you this then, because you're not going to go without on my watch. And it's very near and dear to my heart. I've been doing it for over 25 years, and I will not stop doing it because, and as I told Kevin last night, everybody has a light. And it might be dim. It might be dim because of what the world has thrown at you and what your eyes have had to see, what your heart has had to feel, what you've had to do. Yeah. And it takes strength and courage to get through each day living with your demons, because you're fighting battles that no one sees.
It's true.
Nobody sees them. Yeah. And there's tremendous strength in that. I agree. My thing is, you can't let your light dim. And if it's dimming, then I'll give you a little bit of my spark then. Yeah. And if my spark's low that day, I'm going to ask somebody to come and fan it a little bit. Yeah. So I can, in turn, help somebody else's flame, burn a little brighter, because everybody's flame's needed. Mm-hmm. They're all needed, and don't let it dim, and that's where I got a little emotional.
Yeah.
Where you
that was a small portion of our conversation.
Yeah. And you can go to positivetalkradio.net to watch the entire and listen to the entire interview. But what really got you emotional was because you are a PTSD sufferer yourself. There was a period of time when, tell the story of when a couple of veterans came up to you.
This was a long time ago. A few decades ago. So I'm aging myself, but I was in a very dark place. I was in that spot where nothing was reaching me. And I was very ill. I wasn't eating, wasn't sleeping. I was chain smoking like a chimney, lost all kinds of weight, and just pretty much hated the world. And a couple, the veterans in my post, they're Vietnam combat veterans. They call me the kid. And they came up and they said, well, kid, we don't know exactly what's going on, but we recognize the signs. Yeah. And if you don't go and get help and talk to somebody about them, we will drag you there. And my comment was not nice, so I'm not going to share it on the radio.
We don't want Nathan to go crazy here. Yeah.
Let's just say I was angry and I said no, and I threw extra words in there. And they said, if you don't, we will drag you there. Yeah. And they did. They drug me there. And I'm very thankful and blessed that they did. Because it took a long time to crawl out of that darkness. Yeah. It really did. It took a long time. Yeah. And I've reached the point now where, is it still there? Yeah, stuff still triggers you. Emotional memory is powerful. That is some powerful stuff there.
Yeah.
And you just have to learn what tools to use to fight it off. And I always say there's a D-man sitting on my shoulder. And I don't like to give him a formal name. Just call him the D-man. The D-man. And I flick him off. I'm like, you're not wanted here today. And I
love that. I love that.
Shoulder. And I have to physically do stuff like that to make it sink into my brain.
Yes.
Yeah. So, that's just a smidge.
It's feeding that image to your brain of no, thank you. And continually do that. And, I've had some of my own experiences where I have actually done similar things of like, no, thanks. I don't want that fear. I'm not interested in that today. And I'm choosing to focus in on the present and what I'm creating and the positive things going on in my life. And when things are hard, that takes energy and it takes focus and it takes bringing yourself back again and again and again. That's the thing that people don't understand about, I think the inner battle that often can be going on, especially for someone like me that comes off very bubbly and happy, and people are like, how are you so happy? And I'm like, what you don't understand is the effort that it takes to bring myself back and to train myself to be in that place again and again. I'm just really committed. I'm really committed to that. I'm really committed to doing my best to bringing light to the world. And that commitment is like one of the top priorities in my life, because I want to have impact here. I want to have impact with the Walmart clerk that I go check out with. I want to have impact with the gas station person. I want to have impact every single place I go, walking past a stranger, saying hi, smiling, sharing that light. And that's what it takes to share that kind of light, is that commitment to, you know what, today I'm just going to bring myself back. And other days I get to turn and face those fears. Some days that is part of my strategy, is really allowing myself to be human and to feel, people, that the everyday person. And I would say maybe there's only 1, 2, maybe 3 or a handful of people that have ever seen the fetal position, crying my eyes out experiences that I've had, and I think that we forget that in this Facebook, Instagram world, that we just see the best parts of everyone else's life. We forget that there's so much more going on behind the scenes that we can't see, that we don't know,
You mentioned you want to bring light to the person, the cashier and the person at the gas station. My word of the year has been hope. And it was given to me. Then that's how I feel it was.
I do that too.
It was given to me at the end of last year around this time. And it was showing up everywhere. Everywhere I looked, listened, read, whatever, the word was hope. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to be, what am I supposed to be doing with this? And I was just told I'm supposed to share it. And I'm like, well, how do I share it? So I, was just thinking of different things, and started a collaborative book project called When Hope Found Me, and, was gathering people together to share their stories of hope and spread their light. But then I was like, wait a minute, I'm overthinking it. I think I'm just supposed to do something simple.
Yeah.
So I literally came up with, I just want to share nuggets of hope, just little nuggets here and there. So I actually got little stones with the word hope on them.
I love that, by the way.
I love that.
And I carry them with me. I got a ton of them. And I carry them, some in my purse or in my pocket, whatever. And when I see someone, or I feel that that's the person I'm supposed to give a little nugget of hope to, I approach total strangers.
Yeah.
And I just walk up to him and say, excuse me, I just want to give you a little nugget of hope today. Oh. And they, without fail, everyone has opened up their hand, and I just gently place it in their hand and I say, I hope you have a blessed day. And then I turn and walk away, because I don't feel I'm supposed to talk to them. I don't think I'm supposed to engage.
Yeah.
I'm just supposed to give them that little nugget that they can think about, or hold in their hand, or carry in their pocket. And I've had people laugh at me. I've had one person look at me like, wow, who are you? Like crazy woman.
Yeah.
And I've had people break down in tears and no words were shared.
Right.
And I just said, I wish you a blessed day.
Yeah.
And I turn and walk away. And oftentimes, the last time I did that, I literally got in my car and just started crying.
Yeah.
Because the gentleman that I gave it to, it was almost like I was stalking him in the store. I'm like, I think this is the guy. I think this is. I'm a creeper, and I'm walking around my little hope nugget, being a creeper. And he left the store at the same time I did, and I'm like, oh my goodness, he is the person I'm supposed to give this to. Yeah. And so I walked up to him, let him know I was coming behind him, and said, "Excuse me, sir, I just want to give you, a little nugget of hope today." And he didn't look at it. He opened up his hand, closed his hand, and said, "Thank you." And I went, "Have a blessed day." And as I walked away, I heard him say, "Oh, thank you."
Wow.
The whole demeanor changed. And I just turned and glanced back, and he was standing there looking down at it. Gosh darn it. And I got in my car and I just started crying. And I'm like, okay, creeping that man through the store was worth it because he's the one who needed that little nugget of hope. But it's that, I don't know who that man was, what his name was, what his life is, what's going on. But I carry these little things with me everywhere.
I love that. I love that so much. I love that. I think that what's so fascinating, and as you tell this story, you just taught me so much. One, giving is vulnerable. There's a vulnerability in giving, and oftentimes that can hold people back. And what's incredible about you, Kim, is you pushed through that fear of that vulnerability because we don't want to be rejected. And what I want people to understand in this moment of when you give like this, when you give with no strings attached and you just want to add goodness into the world, when someone reacts negatively, it's most likely because they've never experienced that in their entire life, that they don't even know what to do with it. But they will think of that again and again and again. It will be brought back to their memory again and again. And I want to say one more thing about hope, because we minimize hope as a culture. We minimize hope to, hopefully, maybe, as this maybe. Definition of hope is an expectation of good things to come. Expectation of good things to come. That's the energy behind hope. And it's one of actually my key words of who I feel like what I embody: hope, joy, and love. Those three things are like the essence of me that I share. And so that word just means so much to me. And I love that that's what you're doing. And that's the way that you share. I think that's incredible. And I just want to invite everyone listening, find something like this to do. Find something like this to give to people in your words, even just a compliment. That compliment, how many of you think about it, have been given a compliment in your life that you've thought about again and again and again and again? Your words add value. This nugget, this rock of hope that says hope on it in beautiful gold writing that Kim has, for those of you who can't see it, that is something that brings goodness into the world, and in a small but profound way. That it's something we can all do. We can't discount those little things. Those little things add up over time.
Those little things are actually the really big things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they can change somebody's life.
And if you want something to carry around or even wear, we have a shirt on the positivetalkradio.net store that says, "Be kind to each other because each other is all we've got." And we got a special offer today. If you call right now, we'll get you one of those shirts as a gift. And the phone number to call is 425-373-5527 or toll free at 1-888-298-5569. We'll just get some information from you and we'll send it over to Kevin McDonald and ship you one of these shirts.
And they are really nice shirts, too. So this is not a cheapy deal. This is kind of kicking off our store on positivetalkradio.net. And you can go there. There's a bunch of stuff, and there's going to be more in the future. But I would love for you to have this shirt so that when you wear it, you can actually make a small difference in the world just by wearing the shirt. And that would be really cool. So, Dana, aren't you glad I brought Kim along? She is really cool.
I'm loving this. I'm so grateful for what you're doing and how profound these small things are. And it's such a great reminder right now. And especially this time of year when things can get so busy and we're thinking so much about gifts and we're thinking so much about ourselves and our families and all of that. It's like such a great, profound reminder. And I love
this time of year is incredibly hard for many, many people.
Yes.
And it seems like that's what I see more than the whole joyous season.
Right.
I have a tendency to notice those that it's not joyous and it hasn't been for a long time. Right. They might not have anybody that they spend the holidays with, and it's all they can do to get through that day. That's one of those days where it's minute by minute. Okay, it's bedtime now. I can go to bed. The day's over. Thank goodness. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people, and I see a lot of people like that the closer we get to like Thanksgiving. And, you know, you're in the store and I'm a people watcher. I pick up on a lot of stuff out in public. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you're walking through the store and you might see a mom with two little ones and she's as calm as can be, keeping her kids together, you know, one of those really mellow kind of moms, you know, the ones that you're just like, wow, how does she keep it so together like that? And wow, that's just amazing. I was not like that as a mom. And then you take just a little closer look and you're like, she's so tired.
Yeah.
And she might not have any help. She might be a single mom wondering, okay, I've got just this much for groceries this week. I can't even think of Christmas.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and so I get those vibes from people and it breaks my heart. Yeah. And that's why now my purse is kind of heavy because I've thrown more of these in there. These are stones, by the way. I mean, there's some heft to them. But I'm thinking if anything, that's my little thing, my little nugget, my little pebble that I'm tossing out in the water, and I'm just trying to cause a little ripple. And that the ripple's going to land on the other side, exactly where it's meant to land. Maybe I give one of these to someone whose life is absolutely wonderful, but they know of someone that needs hope.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
So it's like, I just want, I tell some of my friends, I just want to chuck my nuggets of hope everywhere.
I love it. I love that.
Well, you know, this goes back a ways again, but there was a movie called Rocky. And in that movie, and this is a lot more common than is not common, and that is that he and Adrian were going and walking down the street, and it was Thanksgiving, and Adrian said, you know, my brother just threw the bird out in the backyard because he wanted me to go away and stuff, and Rocky had a profound statement. He said, well, you know, to you it's Thanksgiving, to me it's Thursday. And because a lot of people don't even recognize, don't have anywhere to go, they don't have anybody to see, and they just assume it's not Thanksgiving, it's Thursday. I got nothing to be thankful for. But I'll tell you who has something to be thankful for. Nathan, we have a winner.
Congratulations, Noreen. You are going to get your own Be Kind to Each Other Because Each Other Is All We Got t-shirt.
That's awesome, Noreen. Thank you very much, and I'm glad that you're going to get that. You're going to like it, and I hope you wear it a lot because it's a really cool idea, and it's got our logo on the front of it, and the saying is on the back. It's really cool. You can go to the store, you can pick one up. They're not very expensive, and it makes a statement. We're going to have a bunch of those that are going to make a statement about our lives and who we are and who we can be and how each of us can impact each other. I'm loving this show. As a matter of fact, I don't want to take a break, but I gotta. And so if you guys will hang tough for just a second, this will just be like a 2-minute break. We're talking with Kim LengLing. She's an author. I even said it right. Aren't you proud of me?
I am.
And Dana Parker from Inner World Movement. She is one of our bestest friends and has been with me for a year and a half. And boy, has she grown up in that time. It's just truly amazing. So, and Nathan, he's 6'8", so he has no more growing to do. So
I hope not.
I hope not.
So stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back after these messages. Hey there. I'm excited that you're listening right now, and if you like what we're doing here, you're going to love PositiveTalkRadio.net. On PositiveTalkRadio.net, each show, which is recorded live, is packed with positive information, with real people discussing real issues, and positive solutions that can work for everyone. I hope that you'll join us on PositiveTalkRadio.net and listen to all 340-plus shows. I think it's worth your time. But then, that's just me. That's PositiveTalkRadio.net, your home for great progressive, positive podcasts.
When you want to say more than words communicate, you can with flowers. Your custom boutique floral studio in Bothell, Washington is anaturaldesign.com, connecting you to nature through the language of flowers. Where your people are is where our flowers are beautiful. Your success is our goal. Now through New Year's Eve, here's your exclusive bonus for being our appreciated listener. Type in promo code Positive Talk Radio at checkout to receive $20 off your order. Our gift to you for being here with us today. anaturaldesign.com.
These days, it's difficult to be able to do it all, especially as a small business owner. Marketing your business can be really tough, especially developing a presence on social media, creating commercial content, and media production. That's where KKNW.pro can help. You see, in addition to creating a great podcast called Positive Talk Radio, we also have a radio show. Video, audio production, content creation, including commercials, video shorts and trailers, voiceovers, social media development, and so much more. It only makes sense to hire a pro to get your business noticed. That's what we do. Please visit KMmedia.pro for more information and to schedule a consultation to take your business stream to the next level. That's KMmedia.pro. Yes, we can. And welcome back, everybody, to Positive Talk Radio on a Friday. And I want to thank everybody for being here. If you are just tuning in, you've missed a whale of a show so far. But we've got 30 minutes left or so. Okay, 25 minutes left. But we will have lots of time for you. If you'd like to give us a call and to talk about, I got an idea. Let's run this by everybody for size. Over the course of my lifetime, which started in the late 50s, we've had the Vietnam War, we've had Iraq twice, we've had Afghanistan, we've had other places that we have sent our young men and women. And I have got the two perfect people that if you're feeling down, you're feeling like you need some help, with your PTSD or with you're just feeling badly, there are literally millions, I tell you, millions of people that were in the military, and a lot of them saw some things and faced some things, including our guest today, Kim, that are just beyond belief. And if you're feeling that way, we'd love for you to call because these two can help you and to kind of point you in the right direction. I just thought of that. So I don't know whether we can do that or not, but I just thought that would be fun to do. Nathan, how do they get a hold of us if they have the need?
They can just give us a call at 425-373-5527 or toll free at 888-298-5569. So,
Kim, are you having fun?
I am. Hey, real quick, though, there's a new national number for Veteran Crisis Hotline. It's simply 988 and press 1. It's really easy to remember now. They just released that, I think, in October. 988, press 1 for the Veteran Crisis Hotline.
Cool. So if you are feeling, because that is one of the big problems that we have in our country is the number of people that are taking their own lives that were in the military and they just feel lost. So 988, Dana, go ahead.
Well, I have a question for you, Kim, because, going back to your story at the beginning when, those two amazing individuals approached you and said, hey, we see what's going on and you're going to this place to get some support. I think sometimes, I'm going to ask you, do you think sometimes it's hard to know? It's hard to be really aware of exactly what's going on, and maybe what are the signs that you would want to be calling that number? What are some of the red flags within you, maybe at the beginning, middle, and then when you really, there's that spectrum, right?
So a veteran talking to a veteran, it's much easier to notice because they get it. They've been there, done that. Yeah. And I have noticed that it's easier for me to notice something going on with a veteran because we've kind of got the same mindset. We've been there, done that. But things that I've noticed when I'm talking to people, because they'll call us or loved ones will call us and say, hey, I just don't know what to do. They've isolated themselves. If you have a loved one that's isolating themselves, are they having fits of anger that didn't used to be there before? Nightmares, consistent nightmares, flashbacks during the day, unable to leave the house. There's a lot, drinking a lot, starting drugs or escalating in drug use. There's so many signs to watch for, and each person's different. Each person carries their demons differently, and some of them, they carry them right out in the open with them. How I approach it is always gentle. I might have somebody screaming in my face. Who do you think you are? You don't know anything. But, really, really letting me have it. And I have to sit there and remember, okay, this isn't them right now. It's their demons screaming out.
Right.
And so gentle. Be very gentle and never try and smash someone's pride and make them feel worse by saying, look at you, you blah, blah. You never used to be like this. I don't even know who you are anymore. And you need to get help, or you need to just get out of here. I can't take this anymore. Instead of knocking them when they're down, be gentle and try and listen. And if they don't want to talk, find someone who they can talk to. And more than likely for veterans, it'll be another combat veteran because they've been there, done that, and they'll get it.
Yeah. Would you say that when someone, because a lot of times I think when you have a loved one that you're just how they're showing up is starting to wear on you, there is that natural tendency of lashing out. But have you noticed that creates a space where it's less safe and there's less opportunity for change versus approaching it and, wow, this person is clearly hurting, clearly struggling. And that ability to have the self-awareness, I think, to go within and to say, my irritation, my stuff is that I'm scared. That's where my irritation is coming from. I'm scared because I don't know what to do. And I think that can be a very common misconception. You're irritated, but it's not. Oftentimes, I don't feel it's at the other person. If we really take a look at it, we're more irritated because we're scared ourselves of what to do, how to show up. I feel that often as a mom. I feel that often when, my children struggle and I don't know what to do.
Yeah, there's, I've seen for the majority of it, veterans, they're a veteran. They're strong. They've been in combat. They can handle anything, period. That's the mindset. And I'm not a counselor, and I'm not trained, nor do I have letters beyond my name to help that. So I cannot. I can direct people. There's a lot to it. And I just know from my own personal journey, it wasn't someone just saying, look within. This was years and years, because you can lock stuff up away very tightly where it's not getting out until the rest of your world crumbles, and then the wall smashes open, and then you feel like you're losing your mind because everything comes blasting out at once. Right. It's different for everybody. And I'm familiar with veterans because that's what I've been doing for 25 years. Yeah. It's very hard for a veteran. And I'm just saying this in general. So if anyone out there listening is a veteran, please don't take this as a personal affront. I'm saying this in general. It's very hard to put the pride aside. It's very hard to put the pride aside and say, wow, I really need help. And for those who do say that, and it might take them a while to admit to it, oh my gosh, I just want to jump up and down and cheer for them, because yes, you are so worth being here. Mm-hmm. You are so worth being here. Yeah. There is no reason that you should feel that you don't belong on this planet anymore. Mm-hmm. You're so worth being here. And I've said that so many times to so many people. And sometimes it didn't work. Right. And then your heart breaks. Right. Yeah. So that just makes me pray harder and work harder. Yeah. Yeah.
There's one more thing I'd like to enter into the conversation with, and that is that we're finding out more and more about what goes on with the brain when the brain is been messed with in the wrong way. And there's a lot of the veterans that were exposed to that with IEDs and other explosives, and they would get concussions, and those until real recently were not looked at as, it's just a concussion. He got his bell rung. He will be fine. And but there's a famous person, football player, not going to use his name, who recently got a divorce because his wife said that he had changed over time because of the number of concussions that he had sustained during the course of his career. And so this is for all the moms and dads out there. If you're playing football, and I was fortunate. I played football. I boxed. I did a bunch of stuff. I have a thick skull, so I never had a concussion, but it can happen, and it can be a life-changing experience as well. So if your child is experiencing that, if your husband is, if he played sports years ago, it may not be over with, and they need help. You're both nodding, so I assume.
Yeah, traumatic brain injuries. That's something, those symptoms can show themselves years later. Yeah. Yep. It's there's a course, and I don't know if it's nationwide or not, where EMTs, like first responders, firemen, EMTs, police officers, there was a course for them to take about when you pull people over, how to recognize if someone's drunk or on something, or if they have a traumatic brain injury and they're treated as they're drunk or something, and they're not. There was some sort of program a few years ago, because I know some of the first responders and stuff in my local area had that training. And I was just amazed by it, because you don't think about that. And they shared a story of a gentleman who was pulled over and was treated very roughly because he was belligerent and acting like he was drunk. But he passed all of the drinking, whatever tests they have you do on the side of the road. And it turns out when they finally got a hold of his family member, they're like, he's got a TBI. He's not drunk. This is him now. So it's very interesting, this stuff with the brain. The brain is an amazing thing, amazing thing.
Indeed, it is. And Dana, you work with people that have suffered from PTSD as well, have you not?
That's not really my area of expertise necessarily. That hasn't been anything that I've spent a ton of time studying. So no.
Well, then in that case, we're glad that Kim is here because she has.
Absolutely.
And by the way, Kim, if somebody would like to listen to your podcast, how do they go about doing that?
It's on any of the platforms. Spotify, it's hosted on Anchor, but it's on Spotify and all the other, those Google Play, Google Pod. It's on all of those platforms. You shifted subjects on me really quickly.
Yeah,
I have a tendency to do that. Yeah.
All right, there goes my brain.
And remind us the name.
The easiest way is just to go to my website, which is KimLengLingAuthor.com, and the podcast is right on there, so you can listen to episodes from there if you like, and it'll take you right to any platform.
Give us that name one more time.
My website is KimLengLingAuthor.com. The name of the podcast is Let Fear Bounce.
Spell LengLing.
LengLing, just like the beer Yangling, only put an L on the front.
There's a beer?
Yangling beer.
I've never heard of that.
It's in the Midwest.
Okay.
Some of it's made in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Well, I never drank beer in the Midwest much, I gotta say.
The only time I've had it is when I gone to Chicago.
Oh, they have in Chicago? Okay.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, the black and tan. Well, I don't drink anymore, haven't drank in years, but Yangling it's an acquired taste. It's a little harsh and a little bitter.
Oh, wonderful. I love harsh and bitter things to drink.
I haven't drank in years. Not that I drank a lot anyway. I think I averaged 2 beers a year. I was one of those.
You lush, you.
I know. Yeah.
Now, Dana, I wanted to touch bases with you because you have been a very, very, very busy professional woman. What have you been doing with yourself?
Well, lots of good things. And stepping into, I'm learning so many new things right now. Stepping into business, I just signed on as a partner in business with the company called Evolving to Exceptional, and we're creating online content right now. We have an emotional intelligence app coming out that's really incredible that can help you track your emotions based off of your voice recognition. They have this really cool new technology that they've been studying the last 5 years and can really help give you tips on how to handle emotions and what that looks like. We're creating a lot of content around just helping people understand the beginning phases of even recognizing emotion and understanding how to name their emotion and what they're experiencing, and then how to dive deeper into those kinds of things and connecting with themselves more. Because a lot of times what I find, the area of emotional intelligence has been a fascinating topic and one I've studied for years. And I think a lot of people spend a lot of their life running from emotions, fearing emotions, stuffing emotions. And so one of my big goals in life is to help people understand and embrace their emotions and learn how to feel them and bring compassion and love to them. And it's a really interesting practice that I don't think ever ends. I think it's a lifelong journey in practice. So
haven't you heard the rule that men are supposed to stuff their emotions? We can show anger, but we dare not show fear or crying or emotion. I mean, that's unmanly. Haven't you heard?
I know. Culturally, this is why I get even more excited when I work with men, because they have a cultural stigma to overcome and a cultural programming in their mind that says, if I feel emotions that are anything but anger and anything around that, any cousin to that I'm weak and I'm not a man. And it's culturally trained into men. And what's interesting is my life's been filled with men. I have 4 boys and I have brothers, and I have lots of boys around me. And I think this is part of the reason why is because this area means a lot to me. Retraining boys that it's okay to feel everything. What you do with it matters. It does matter. That emotion, there's nothing wrong with that emotion, and it's acceptable. Where you choose to put that emotion does make a difference, and giving them options and possibilities. And, I honestly, my children, I cheer them on when they express their emotions in healthy ways. My 7-year-old, the other day, I've been really working with him on where to put his emotions when he feels angry with his brothers, because he's the youngest. When you're the youngest, you get picked on a lot, and you get told what to do a lot, and it would be really annoying, kind of frustrating at times.
It was.
And his reaction is to go and physically hit his brothers, and we talk all the time. Okay, what are you feeling? Oh, okay. This is where we go put that emotion. You can go punch a pillow. You can go scream in a pillow. We can run around the block. We can dance it out. We can laugh. We can do any of those things. What's your choice? And, it's really coaching him through that over and over, that repetition. But the other day when he got so mad and he went to go hit his brother, and then he turned and punched the pillow, and I just got up and just celebrating him and expressing that in a healthy way. That is it's just a soul fulfilling experience to help men understand and celebrate them in their emotion. The guy I'm dating, when he expresses emotion, I'm like, yes, thank you. Come here. I love that you do that. It's so incredible. And there's times even when he's angry that I'm like, come here, let me just hug you right now. You're expressing a lot of anger, and I can tell you're really mad, and I'm not going to take it personally because I could see why you're mad. Come here, let me just hug you. And, I'll just hug him, and I'll just hold space for him.
It's becoming a trained behavior that every time he gets mad, he gets a hug. That seems to work.
Right. I mean, and he's good about not personally attacking me. There's lots of healthy boundaries there and healthy things that we talk about. If he's just expressing about his experience with something and he's mad, it's like, yeah, I cheer him on. I'm like, you get that anger out, babe. You express that. Like, it's so good. It's so healthy. And then if it's about me and it becomes personal attacks, I'm like, wait a minute. Let's set some boundaries here. And you can tell me your experience from your perspective, and I'll listen to that. And let's focus there. So it's such a fulfilling experience when and I can tell you the only reason why I have that ability to do that is because I do that for myself. I do that for me. Like, it has to start with you. If you're going to show up in the world more loving, more kind, if you're going to have this capability to be in love, just like Kim, when someone's yelling in her face and she's like, I know that's not them, and she just holds that space of love and gentleness, it's because she's learned to do that for herself. It's because she has practiced that. And that's really what it takes, is beginning the practices for yourself to then be able to show up for other people like that.
That's really cool. That's thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. And Nathan, by the way, we're having too good a time, so we're going to take the next hour's segment as well, if you don't mind. He's laughing at me, and he's saying, "Oh, don't be silly, young man. I have the switch. I can turn you off at any moment. I can turn you on. I have the power." But we've only got like 3.5 minutes left, or 3 minutes left. So I'm going to set myself aside, and we'll start with Kim. Kim, I'd like you to, and you said something beautiful yesterday on the podcast. Go to www.positivetalkradio.net, and you can listen to that. But you have a minute to say whatever you'd like our audience to hear.
Well, I'll share what I shared last night then. And I spoke about it earlier. Don't let your light dim. And if you feel it's dimming, reach out to somebody else, because someone else is out there to fan that flame so it can burn a little bit brighter. The world is a better place because you're in it. Don't ever think that that's untrue. Even on those really incredibly poopy days that you are sitting in darkness, you might be on your knees on your living room floor asking the universe or God or whoever it is that you're crying out to, why? What's the point? What is the point of me being here? You might not have an answer. You might not get an answer right then. But a person's going to show up. You're going to get a text or a phone call. Something is going to happen. Open your heart. Something is going to show up in front of you to remind you that you're needed and you're wanted and you're here for a reason. There's a purpose for all of us. It's not easy to find that purpose, especially when you're mired down in your own muck. But there's a reason you're here. So don't let your light dim. Got some tough couple months coming up for an awful lot of people. Watch out for your loved ones and your neighbors and your friends. If you see their light dimming, go over and fan their flame a little bit. Remind them of why they're here. Remind them that they're cared for. Remind them that they're loved, and give them hope.
Thank you, Kim. And I want to remind everybody, you're never, ever, ever, ever alone. Dana, your turn.
I just want to back that up and say push through the vulnerable fear of giving others hope, giving others compliments, sharing your light with people. Push through, because you never know what that actually can do for someone.
I was so impressed with your Hope Rock that I was looking into buying some myself, so that I could distribute them and put them on the podcast site so that people could buy them there, so that they can share them with friends and family or strangers.
Strangers, yes, that's who I share. I haven't given them to friends or family yet.
I'd like to thank you, by the way. Your website again, real quick again, Kim, is
KimLenglingAuthor.com.
And go to innerworldmovement.com for Dana's information. I want to thank you all for being here. PositiveTalkRadio.net is where I live. And by the way, be kind to one another, because each other's all we got. We'll see you Monday at 9 a.m.